The Cavaliers have finally chosen their coach after a roller coaster search. They go with Kenny Atkinson. Much debate about who picked him, why they picked him, but the facts are Atkinson is the head coach, and I'm going to tell you why Kenny Atkinson is the guy to take the Cavaliers offense and turn it up to another level. Hey guys, Billy Beebe back with you, and first things first, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel. Okay, this is a brand new channel. We got brand new content coming out. You can be one of the first people to join in and get after it with us here on Cavs Digest. Yes, you heard me say it first. The Cavaliers have a brand new head coach in Kenny Atkinson. Check him out here. You know him from the Brooklyn Nets. Most recently with the Golden State Warriors. Atkinson was a part of that 2022 NBA Finals team in Golden State that beat the Boston Celtics, as the Celtics finally got their championship recently. But before that, they fell to the Warriors. Atkinson was one of the top assistants, and just like Mike Brown when he was an assistant with the Warriors, Atkinson going to get his next shot as a head coach. We're going to go over a little bit about the history of Atkinson, why he's going to make a difference for this team, and like I said, unlock and make this offense and this team something different, which they desperately need headed into this season. That's going to go with past examples of guys he's turned into something special and those offenses. A lot of chatter right now about, hey, this isn't the guy. This was their third coach. Dan Gilbert picked him. The front office picked him. I am confident and happy with this pick. And once we get into the details, I think it's going to be really exciting to talk about Kenny Atkinson and kind of what he's doing as a head coach and what he can bring to the table. So first things first, I know you want to kind of see about his past history. Evan Mobley is going to be the name that his history factors into, okay? Mobley is a guy that Cavs fans have a lot of questions about, right? Can he shoot the three? Can he stay aggressive? Is he an alpha? Is he a number one? Can he turn it up at the right times? I thought we saw a lot of that in the playoffs this year. Mobley took a lot more threes. He played really well against Boston, and he did some really great things, both in the regular season, coming off an injury, may I add, and in the postseason against top-level competition. Look, at this point, you got two guys that you can really turn up a notch and that can help your team level up. Darius Garland, who I think we've seen peak Darius Garland, and I think we've seen the Darius Garland that's going to fit in with this offense. Atkinson himself has a focus with this type of player, with a guy like Mobley, turning them into something different. Now, that starts with the first name we're going to talk about, Al Horford of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, Horford, we go back to that 2016 team, top of the East, flowing out all-stars. Atkinson was an assistant coach with that team, right? It was Mike Budenholzer's offense, who I will add in here. I wanted Mike Budenholzer for the Cavs. The Suns got on it quick. They nabbed him up. He revamps offenses. He's won a title. So the next best thing to Budenholzer would be a guy who studied under him with the Hawks. And it's well regarded, actually, in most NBA circles that Budenholzer worked with Horford to kind of make him a top-level player and make him a great player. You can kind of see here, as we'll take a look, this article here from The Athletic talks a little bit about kind of some quotes that, hey, he turned Al into a shooter. With Horford, roughly 46% of his twos came from 10 feet beyond. 2014 and 15, just 3%. So he backed up. He started shooting threes. A career high in three-point attempts, 11 in 2015 and 2016, 256 threes. So you can kind of take a look at this article here and kind of the notes that, this is a guy who revamped. This is a guy who made the difference. Another guy he did the exact same thing with, Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is a 3-and-D guy, the ultimate 3-and-D guy at this point in his career, as he's won a couple of Defensive Player of the Year awards, and he's a desperate and impressive space the floor and shoot it type of guy, and Atkinson's a big, big reason for that. Again, looking at this, he was the reason Al Horford and Brook Lopez became good three-point shooters, and he can do the same. He's saying for you in this article, he's talking directly to Evan Mobley. Atkinson, he was an assistant with the Hawks with Horford, like we talked about, and then when he took over with the Nets, it was transformative to Brook Lopez, who ended up getting traded to the Lakers because he was so impressive. it's really impressive that he turned two really good power forwards into great shooters. And that's what Cavs fans have desperately wanted from Evan Mobley. It's what a lot of big men, both centers and power forwards, need to do in today's present NBA. And I think that's really important. And that's going to be something that Kenny Atkinson is going to end up being able to do for Evan Mobley. I mean, Evan Mobley is very aggressive at the hoop, very aggressive on defense. That missing piece is shooting the three. We've seen it. Brook Lopez, Al Horford. I know he's worked with some of the younger guys on Golden State to turn them into real players and good players, and I think Kenny Atkinson can end up doing the same in Cleveland as he did in Atlanta with Al Horford and with Brook Lopez in Brooklyn. Next step is with the Cavs. Now, we've talked a little bit about big men. However, there is an entire offense to be mastered. We saw it in a 20-game stretch for the Cavaliers. You kind of take a look at how they did in that 18-2 stretch. They did it with Sam Merrill. They did it with Donovan Mitchell. And they did it with guys like Isaac Okoro stepping up and playing more. Merrill was obviously a big one there. Strus was playing. If you remember, that's when Evan Mobley was out. And that's when Darius Garland was out. They need to find a way to keep that consistently to make this a dangerous offense, a truly formidable offense against teams like the Boston Celtics. Now, the Mavericks did some fun stuff on defense. They tried some things, but the Boston Celtics were so good on offense at points that it really put Boston back. Atkinson, look, completely, and I mean completely, turned around that Nets offense. He was a part of a huge revamp for the Atlanta offense. And then, of course, most recently, learning the Warriors' way of doing things offensively. I think there's a good chance that he can take this Cavaliers offense, make them consistent, and make them great. And that's really, really exciting. We know his history. We've talked about that. His specific history with big men. We've talked about that. And now if he can take his history of working with prime-time, real-deal, fast-paced, great offenses, I think Kenny Atkinson can be great for the Cavaliers and, like I said, unlock a truly great offense. Take that into the regular season. They need high vibes this year, unlike last year when they kind of filtered through, had some issues, had some infighting, some rumor swirling. Atkinson can calm that down with some fun. I know you've seen those videos of the Nets where they're dancing, where they're jumping up and down, where they're kind of getting after it. So he can bring that back into this season. Leave a comment. Do you believe in Kenny Atkinson? Wouldn't it be crazy if he could turn Evan Mobley into an Al Horford-like, into a Brook Lopez-like? Didn't you love that Nets team, that Hawks team? And if he can do the exact same for the Cavs, except maybe it can get them over the hump. This wouldn't just be a team he's trying to level up from bad to good. It'd be a team he's trying to level up from good to great. Am I crazy for thinking this about Kenny Atkinson? The Cavaliers had other options. Is there somebody you liked more? It's comment time, baby. Let me know what you think as far as the Cavs go as they're headed into a brand new offseason. A lot of decisions to make at first. Now it seems like the coach may be the biggest one. Perhaps there's more roster moves on the way. Stay tuned with Cavs Digest. We're going to be covering everything. We're going to take a look at some storylines floating around this team and more. Appreciate you guys.